Obviously, 2020 has been a mess. There's only, 2 months left. Hopefully it gets better in 2021, but we are in the middle of the most contentious election that we've possibly ever seen. It's not quite a repeat of 2020. I remember being very engaged in 2020. Had a great political science teacher in high school, and this is definitely like one of those situations, but it's not quite there. We'll go over all of it. But first, I got to own up. Listen, my initial prediction was that Biden was going to win the election based on how many variables he had against him, the 13 variables that they talk about. And I talked about, because of the civil unrest and all that stuff, that I thought Biden was going to win. I thought it was going to be a clear-cut win. Well, last night, it didn't look like that. And I actually called it the other way. And I said, hey, I think it's going to be the other way. And I'll show you guys what I tweeted. And I'm going to have to walk back these tweets. I said, face it, Trump won. Again, not surprised, watching CNN. And they are they are borderline delusional. This is an indictment on the Democratic Party, which I still believe it is. If they had any other candidate, I think it would have been a landslide. They cheated Bernie in 2016. They didn't let Yan speak. They tried to muzzle Tulsi. This is why we can't have nice things. And then I said, I'm cool with either candidate losing. They're both deeply flawed, and our government has enough checks and balances where no single president is going to ruin the country. If you think otherwise, perhaps a brush up in civics and government and basic civic and government will help. Posters are done. Right? So that's how I tweeted that. And I got some pushback, and then I said, hey, why I'm calling for Trump? As of midnight Cali time, this is how Michigan and Pennsylvania are looking. Maybe I'm wrong. And I said maybe I'm wrong. But it doesn't appear like there's enough votes left to count in the blue counties for Biden to make up the difference. These states will decide the election via the Associated Press. And so I pulled up this graphic. This was Pennsylvania, 64% reporting. And at this point, he's down. Biden is down by almost 800,000 votes in Pennsylvania. And in Michigan, 72% recording, and he was down by a couple 100,000 votes. Well, what happened apparently, and when I knew this was happening and when I knew I was wrong, is when I saw, Trump came out, declared victory, and I saw this tweet from Ben Shapiro, who won a lot more respect from me last night. He said, no, Trump has not already won the election, and it is deeply irresponsible for him to say he has. I was like, goodness gracious, Ben Shapiro? All right, maybe there's something more to this, right? And I didn't expect that. And so what's been playing out, I'll show you guys the most current map right here. What's been playing out is it looks like Wisconsin and Michigan were flipped because apparently, and somebody could correct me if I'm wrong, but apparently the mail-in ballots got counted at the end, and apparently the mail-in ballots skewed very hard against Trump because of folks who didn't want to go to polls. They were afraid. They didn't want to go to polls. Those folks are going to mail in ballots, didn't like how Trump covered the coronavirus. I'm totally speculating here, but this is my logic. And that is how a whole bunch of last minute ballots came in for Trump. For Biden. A bunch of votes came in for Biden. And so as we stand right now, this is where we're at. Wisconsin flipped. Pretty sure Wisconsin is now going to Biden. 99% of it is going to Biden. But again, he's only up by 20,000 votes in Wisconsin. Trump's team is calling for a recount. Michigan, they're protesting in Michigan. He's up by over 100,000 votes in Michigan. 99% recording. Pennsylvania is 88% recording. It looks like Trump is going to pull together Pennsylvania, 88% recording, but there's still ballots left to count. There's still ballots left to count in Georgia, and Trump is winning by 50,000. North Carolina, I think he's going to hold North Carolina. And I guess it's going to come down to Nevada. Now, Nevada was kind of like, nah, we'll get back to you on Thursday. Like, what, fam? This is crazy. You'll just get back to it? What are y'all doing there? We'll just get back to you when you feel like getting back to you. And, of course, a lot of pundits were upset. They came down super hard on them and all that kind of stuff. So I've been trying to catch up. This is how the race stands right now. We got Joe Biden, who is only 6 votes away from winning the election. Now, so, one, I was wrong about Biden winning outright. We did not have a winner. I thought Biden was going to be declared the winner last night. And then when I looked at it, it just looked like there was no way he was going to make up grounds and Wisconsin and Michigan, Pennsylvania. Well, apparently I didn't factor in that a lot of those mail-in ballots were going to be counted towards the end, which is really, really interesting. Now, let me give you guys a possible scenario. This is crazy. Let me give you guys a possible scenario where this thing could potentially tie, and how that would play out. What would a tie look like? Okay, this is a possible scenario where this could tie. I'm going to give you guys the state that they're saying, I guess, could flip. This would be an apocalyptic scenario. Okay, so this is where we're at. So right now, Nevada, if you guys see here, let me bring this up. Nevada is still reporting, and it's only 75% reported. Okay, so if Biden wins Nevada, I believe he got it. Right? If Biden wins Nevada, I believe he got it. Now, if Trump wins Nevada, and they're saying he could get back the one of the electorates from Nebraska, which is, I was so confused on why Trump went to Nebraska first, or like in his travel thing. It could be a doomsday apocalyptic scenario, 269-69, if somehow he gets one of these electorates in Nevada, which, let me go here. It's a pretty wide margin. I don't think that's going to happen. I think what we're going to see is, again, obviously I've been wrong on these predictions, right? But I think we're going to see this and potentially this. And it's still, I mean, goodness gracious, this is tight. This is tight, right? If Georgia gets flipped, it's a wrap. They're saying Georgia could get flipped. North Carolina, Florida, they're asking for recalls everywhere else. That would be really, 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 really crazy. Here's what would happen hypothetically. Again, I don't think it's going to happen. Hypothetically, what would happen if this thing got flipped? Well, the House of Representatives would vote on the president, and the Senate would vote on the vice president. So the House is Democratic right now. The Senate is Republican. So we would have basically, and I think this would be interesting, by the way. I think this would be interesting. We would have Biden as president, vice president, Mike Trump. I think that'd be interesting. Now, nevertheless, let's not get this twisted. The posters were predicting it. The media was predicting it. Everybody was predicting it. They thought that this was going to be a wrap. I mean, this man was ahead by, double digits in the popular vote. He was ahead in all the swing states. So polling, to me, like, they got to figure something else out. Two, this is still an indictment on the Democratic Party. They lost seats in the Senate. I believe they lost seats in the House. This is still an indictment on the Democratic Party. And Trump, especially in Florida, which everybody makes fun of Florida, won like 18% of the black male vote, won like 33% of the Latino vote. Trump is reshaping. So I think there was so much pushback on Trump was racist and Trump was this and Trump was that. And almost 1 out of 5 black men voted for Trump. 1 out of 3 Latinos voted for Trump. The only demographic he apparently was down in, was white males. That's insane. So, and we saw, you guys that were here live with me yesterday, you guys saw how many, I had my man K9 on, black dude from Florida, or Christian rapper. He voted for Trump. I had my man Flo up on. He voted for Trump. We had a lot of folks in the community, black folks that were in the community that were considering voting for Trump. That's something really interesting. Okay, that's really interesting that it wasn't white supremacist and it wasn't, right, all the shenanigan that the media feeds us. It wasn't that it was a lot of minorities who turned up, especially in Florida, and voted for Trump, specifically the Cuban community, the Latin community. Wild the way that Donald Trump is reshaping the Republican Party to basically be more diverse. That is really interesting. So, man, this is wild. I definitely think the whole if you ain't black if you ain't voting for me Biden stuff and just him consistently speaking jive, super annoying. I definitely think that cost him some points. I think the pandering to, with the Kamala Harris awful V pick definitely costed him some points. I think this costed him a lot of points. So that's where I'm at. Current prediction, again, I could be wrong. Current prediction is this. This is what I'm predicting now. I still think Biden wins. Here's something interesting. I'm going to pull up this tweet. And again, I don't know how credible this is, but this is from Nancy Leong, and she says, as I understand the state of the race, Trump is seeking various forms of relief in his lawsuits. Recount in Wisconsin, stop counting in North Carolina, count faster in Nevada, count backwards in Pennsylvania, count only the ballots he likes in Georgia, don't count Detroit. So, what do you guys think? How do you think this is going to play out? How do you guys think this is going to play out? I would be very, very curious from your thoughts, and let me know. Let me know.
Kingstream Entertainment. Ruslan.